Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. A lot has changed in WoW Classic since the start of 2021, and you may be wondering, is WoW Classic worth getting into now? Today I'm going to talk to you about the reasons why now is the best time to get into WoW Classic. We'll be going over some of the reasons you may want to play now and some suggestions for selecting a server or a realm that is right for you. If you want to skip around, I have a list of timestamps in the description, so feel free to pick the parts that are relevant to you. If you would like to see more videos from me, I've been having a blast making them. Please click that subscribe button and send this video to one of the friends that you're trying to convince to come back and play WoW Classic. Okay, let's get started. World of Warcraft population has been a cyclical thing when it comes to player activity. You typically see spikes in in-game activity at three major times during the game's life, and these are when the game first comes out, and usually for several months following. You will also see a spike during expansion pack announcements, and these are the people that have played the game or were thinking about playing the game, and they see the news and they think, oh yeah, that game exists, I should play it. And finally, you see an increase in player activity in the month or two leading up to an expansion, especially if there is a pre-patch that majorly changes the game like we will see at the end of WoW Classic. You may wonder why you should care about an increase in player activity, but for MMOs, they are the most fun to play when there's lots of players out in the world. They are designed to be played with other people, and the social aspect of the game is what makes MMOs really special. So in no particular order, here are 10 reasons to play WoW Classic today. The Burning Crusade is coming this year, so now may be your last chance for a good long while to experience WoW Classic, unless you want to lock your character into the vanilla-only servers. But if you plan to play the Burning Crusade, you want to get your fill of the base game now before your server has progressed. A lot of players are returning to the game, and it's making group quests and dungeons popular activities again. The best time to play WoW Classic is between now and the first few months of the Burning Crusade. This is when we're going to see a ton of in-game activity and a ton of people leveling up. It's going to be a good time. There have been a lot of player-coordinated re-roll events on several servers. These are great events to participate in for new players that haven't played the game before. Also for those that are looking for a new group of people to play with. And for those that are looking for a fresh start. You can usually find information about these reroll events on the WoW Classic subreddit. Right now could be the perfect time to play a new class and figure out what you do and don't like about them. Even if you plan on playing a Blood Elf or a Draenei once the pre-patch goes live, now could be time spent getting acclimated with the game. I'll admit that I've been in love with the same handful of classes since WoW was first released back in 2004, but I'm using my time to try out new classes that I've never played before, and I'm finding it refreshing to play something new. You can also take some time and experiment with professions. Professions are for way more than just player power, and I think sometimes people forget that. There's a lot of profession-specific activities that open up depending on the professions that you choose. Being able to gather via skinning, herbalism, and mining opens up a whole new element of gameplay. Engineering has a plethora of toys that you can use, and your tailoring, leatherworking, and blacksmithing, etc. have in-game items that you can create for yourself or to sell to others that need them. Another reason to jump into WoW Classic right now is to play with some friends. So you can play with some of the old friends that you have, you can make some new friends in-game, but the social aspects are what makes WoW Classic really special. Since the announcement of the Burning Crusade, I've seen a lot of my friends start to play again. Some of them have even rolled characters on my servers when we weren't playing together before, and that's exciting. I'm excited. Even random people that you tend to group with because you might be leveling at the same pace, you can keep track of them in your friends list. And you can do that by adding them with a / command. You do /friend and then type their name, and that will add them to a list. You can also right-click on their name in your friends list and add notes. So maybe you did like a Wailing Caverns with someone that you liked, or this guy is a tank and he likes doing dungeons, you could put a note like that in your friends list. Another reason to play is to do some of the level 60 raids if you've never experienced them before. And this one's a little bit low on the list for me, personally. I know there's a lot of emphasis on raiding in the game, but I think right now isn't the best time to start out with a new raiding guild. That's just a personal opinion of mine. But there are a lot of pickup groups or pugs that like to take in new players. So go experience Molten Core, Blackwing Lair. If you haven't yet, they won't be run as much once the Burning Crusade comes out. You could also check out some PvP right now. In the Burning Crusade, we see systems around PvP change on a huge level. We see introductions of arena matches, PvP-specific gear that you get by participating in PvP, and we will see a lot more organized teams playing when we're at our max level. So go dabble a bit now. I've had the most fun in PvP ever playing my shaman as elemental, and I normally play resto when I'm doing raids, but I love switching to elemental and just blowing kids up. That's one of my favorite things to do right now. And you may hate me for playing an elemental shaman, but hate the class, not the player. Right now is a great time to finish leveling that character that you've been meaning to get up to 60 if you plan on playing that character in the Burning Crusade, or you plan on having one extra tailoring or alchemy cooldown. Now is a better time to work on that character so that you are free to level up once the Dark Portal opens. And my final reason for playing right now is to get prepared for the Game Pass level 60 or 58, since you can go through the Dark Portal and start leveling up at 58. This could involve leveling up professions, gathering some consumables that will make you more powerful during your leveling in Outlands. You can also fill up your quest log with completed quests to give yourself a small jump in experience at the very start. So now I want to talk about how you can pick a server. And my recommendations are going to be mostly based off of the server population and the faction balance. There's a site that I like to look at before choosing a server to play on, and that is ironforge.pro. This site shows how many players are playing based on those that are raiding. Of course, not everyone that's playing WoW is raiding, but it's a good indicator as to how populated a server is. You can also use the in-game launcher to tell you the server population, but this won't show you the balance between the factions, and the Ironforge site will. So first I'm going to talk about high population servers. If you choose a high population server that is skewed towards your faction, so the majority of their player base is Horde and you play Horde. On the higher pop servers, there's more people to play with. This is great for participating in group quests and dungeon groups and eventually guilds and raids. But while you're leveling up, this way you don't need to be that annoying friend that's always asking for boosts. Like, dude, I'm a healer. I don't want to carry you through boiling caverns. Go find a group, please. Along with high population servers, there's more competition for open world farming. This includes herbs, minerals, killing mobs out in the world. So I know a lot of people have mentioned primal farming, and it is going to be a huge area that you can farm in the Burning Crusade, and that the places that are good for farming elementals are going to be totally overrun on these high pop servers. Another bad thing about high pop servers is there may be server queues during peak times, such as the first week or two of an expansion or when a new dungeon or raid comes out. So you also have the choice of rolling on a high population server that is skewed in the opposing faction. So let's say it's 90% Horde and you decide to play Alliance on this server. For me, I see just more bad things than good if you choose to play this way. There are less people to play with you, and you have the same competition for the open world resources. One good thing I could see about playing on a less balanced PvP server is at least you'd have a lot of open world PvP activity. So if you love playing Rogue and all you want to do is gank kids all day, you could roll on a PvP server that is skewed into the opposite faction that you play. Low population servers are great for the solo player. If you want to just go out in the world and play WoW like a single player RPG with the occasional guest star, this may be the server type for you. On low population servers, you will have a much easier time farming out in the world, but you may have trouble finding groups for dungeons and raids. I was talking to one of my friends who plays on a low population server. He spent several hours both creating a group and then completing a Sunken Temple run, and that just doesn't sound like a good time to me. And it sounds kind of hard. Just something that I would get frustrated with pretty easily. Of course, this is an anecdote, so your mileage may vary. If you have a set group of friends that you always play with together, dungeon groups are going to be a lot easier to come by. So I want to talk about what I would recommend and why for these servers. I kind of went into the pros and cons a little bit. My first choice will always be to play on a higher population server. Over time, the population of a high pop server will always be stable. They offer a great number of options of schedules for both dungeon and raid activity. If I were to primarily play on a PvP server again, I'd want to choose something that was more medium population and well balanced. And I'd also want to bring some of my friends. This way that hopefully I would stand a chance in a scuffle, but I could always call in backup if they bring their friends. At this point in the video, I hope that I've convinced you that now is the perfect time to get into WoW Classic. And it will continue to be a great time to get into the game until player activity begins to wane, hopefully pretty late into the Burning Crusade expansion. So I think we'll have at least like a good solid 9 months or so from now to just play and play with people the way the game needs to be played, or wants to be played. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that subscribe button. It really helps me out. This channel has been growing every day, and with your help, we can continue to make more of that TBC content that you're so thirsty for. Thanks for watching. Bye!